welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bree, and if you are returning, welcome back. So today's video, as you can see by the title, I did promise you a part 2 of my birth story, so let's just get right into it. And also, if you're new here, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of that good stuff, because we're trying to build a community. Like, I'm trying to literally build a cute little community where we can just have girl chat or like mum chat, just any type of chat. That's the chat that my one have. So let's just get right into it. So basically, this birth story is going to be about my son, who is now 2. So this happened a good 2.5 years ago. But if you haven't watched my previous video, which was my birth story about my daughter, please go and watch that, because then if you are someone who is pregnant or wanting to get pregnant and have children, it will be nice to see like the difference between the two types of births that I've had personally. Not every birth is the same. Anyone will tell you if they've had like 10 kids, not every birth labor story is the same. So it's good to like have a type of mixed review type of thing, if you know what I mean. But anyway, so I'm going to do this from the top of my head. I was going to write notes, but I just want it to be as natural as can be. So going into my birth story with my son, he is now 2. So basically, let's just take it back 2 years ago. So he was due in the middle of September, which was my due date. And again, like I said previously, I just had a feeling that it's not going to be that date. I feel like, again, they just say it for a type of leeway. So he literally came in the middle of August / end of August, but we'll get to that. Going back, my son was born on a Monday and I was due to have a baby shower, I think on the Saturday. So like 2 days before that. And then literally on that Friday, I just remember feeling not myself, and I just felt very itchy everywhere. Like my whole body was just on fire. I just wanted to rip off my skin. So I was literally on fire. Like my whole body was just flaring up. I was itching. I was scraping up my skin, knowing that I'm going to cause scarring, but I just didn't care at the time. I was just so itchy. I just wanted to rip my skin off. And I thought it was eczema, because I go through phases of having eczema in some parts of my body, like my hands, my legs, my arms. So I just thought it's my eczema playing up. But then I deeped it and I was thinking, because I know someone that's been through this as well. I'm not going to say who. But then I remember like, oh damn, like what if it's the same type of situation? So I just thought, let me just call the midwife to be on the safe side. I called up the midwife. I explained my symptoms, like I was just itchy. And yeah, I told her what was what. And then they told me to come into the hospital to just check me over to see if everything's okay. That's one thing I would advise. Like if you are pregnant, like if you don't feel right about your body, you know your body, you will know when something's up. So it's always best to just call the midwives. Even if it's something minor or it's nothing at all, at least you can say that you've done what you had to do. You've took the right steps just in case something went left, God forbid, but you just never know. You just don't want to take chances. So I went down to the hospital by myself because I just thought it was just a normal checkup type of thing. My daughter stayed at home with my partner, and I got in there. Bearing in mind, like through my pregnancy, I might do a video about this, I don't know, but we'll see. But basically, I had a lot of high blood pressure. I also had protein in my urine. Every time I went to my appointments with my midwives, like they do the usual thing of checking your urine sample and everything. And they will always say, oh, you've got a bit of protein in there, but I just didn't think anything of it. I was just like, okay, why are you telling me for? Like, if it's nothing alarming, like I don't want to know about my protein in my wee. Like it's a bit awkward, like someone's telling you about your body in front of you. So I used to go through that. And then also at the checkups, they would also say, oh, your blood pressure is quite high. And again, I just thought, I don't want to be hearing stuff like that. So I would kind of just ignore it. And they said it's not really alarming, but they just wanted to let me know type of thing. So anyway, I'm at the hospital now and I explained my symptoms. Again, they checked my blood pressure as well, and they said my blood pressure was way high. It was way too high. And also I had the itchy symptoms. Just to give you an insight, basically what I had was a condition called preeclampsia, which basically can affect the baby. It's very dangerous if you are pregnant. Like the main thing that they said to me is it's not safe for me to continue carrying my boy. Like, we need to get him out type of thing now. I was just thinking, what? Like, man's got a baby shower due in 2 days, you know, and you're telling me you want the baby to come out now? Like, I was just so confused. And I was just like, I'm not ready for him to come out now. Like, I'm not prepared. I just came by myself, no luggage, with all my like hospital bag. I didn't have nothing on me. I just literally had my bag. I was thinking, I am not giving birth now. So I was just like, okay, because basically, bearing in mind, this was late at night. So my daughter was in bed sleeping, and I think I got there about 9-10 at night. And they're telling me I need to stay there tonight and take out this baby. They were going to induce me that night, and I was just like, bro, like, I'm not ready for that. I'm not gonna lie. I need to find myself home, get my stuff and come back. So luckily they let me. So I was like, is it okay if I come back at 10 a.m. tomorrow? They were like, yeah, just bring all your stuff and it's okay with the doctors, luckily. I think because it was overnight, you see how they switch out staff. So sometimes there's like overnight staff. I feel like it was better for me to go there in the morning anyway, because staff are just going to keep changing. So I went back home, I explained everything. I had to put a message out basically to all the people I invited to my baby shower. I was just like, the baby shower's being postponed. Don't be alarmed. It's nothing serious. We just want to postpone it. But little did they know, like, my baby was coming out. But I just didn't want to, like, I didn't want to make everyone panicky and worry and like think about me. I just wanted to get this over and done with. I wasn't really deep in like how severe it was. I was just thinking, I'm not ready for this. Like, you're telling me he's due in September and we're in middle/end of August and you're telling me he needs to come out now. Like, he was literally 2 weeks again. So my daughter was 2 weeks early and now he's 2 weeks early. And I felt so sick to my stomach because they wanted to induce me. So already this isn't like, you see how I'm a natural person, like I just like things done naturally. So I've just felt like inducing me was just not what God wanted for me in a way. It sounds weird, but I just thought he's not ready to come out yet. If he was ready, he would have came out. Like, all this inducing, but obviously doctors know best and they don't want to put me and baby at risk. So they went ahead with that decision. I got there in the morning. I was at the hospital now and I had to, obviously my mom was looking after my daughter at the time. So we had to just rush with the whole childcare thing. I went to the hospital and my partner came with me again. He made it. So they wanted to start the inducing and I was just thinking, like, I was Googling beforehand. At the same time, like, asking people I know that have been induced, like, their advice or anything they can give me, like, a heads up. But at the same time, I didn't really want to know because it just made me sick, like I said. Like, basically trying to force this baby out 2 weeks early, it just didn't sit right with me. First off, they done all the checks, see if I'm okay, baby's okay. Had to wear this, like, monitor around my belly just so they can keep monitoring my blood pressure and the baby's blood pressure as well. So they started off with the injection. I think it's called oxytocin. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's basically an injection to help bring on labor. So to help break the baby away from the womb so it can start labor and just come out, you know, one time type of thing. So I was in there for a good how many hours? Like, I was in there for the whole day, whole night. Nothing was happening. Baby was not moving. Like, he did not want to come out. He was just sleeping and doing little tossing and turning. So they waited until the next morning and they were like, okay, you don't have any signs of labor, so we're gonna have to do a little sweep. And I was just thinking, a sweep? Like, I've heard what that is. It's where they put their fingers up and like try to break away the membrane so your waters can break and then baby can come out. And I was just like, I don't want you guys to do that. Like, I was not strong enough for that. I just thought, the pain that I'm in right now, like, they were coming into my room every half an hour, like, checking my blood, pricking me with all these needles. And I was just thinking, I do not have the strength right now for you to be doing a sweep. So can we just chill and just wait for him to come out? And they were like, okay, we will monitor him, see how it's going. And then if we need to, we need to. Another doctor came and they were like, they wanted to insert the pessary because the injection wasn't really working for me for some reason. Just my luck. So they inserted the pessary and, like, I kid you not, it was so painful. I literally burst out crying. I was thinking to myself, how am I struggling with a pessary? It's basically like putting a tampon in. And I was thinking, if I'm crying over putting a tampon in slash pessary, whatever, like, how the hell am I going to do childbirth right now? Please tell me, like, how is that possible? Think of a tampon, yeah. Like, I know this is TMI, but it's like, it's not that deep. But when they was trying to insert this pessary now, I'm there gripping on the bed, like, I'm like literally tense up. And I was so uncomfortable and I just had tears in my eyes. Like, I was thinking, I cannot do this. You're telling me I'm going to go in labor soon, like when I can't even handle this pessary. It was not making sense. But anyway, hours went by again. We were literally on Sunday night and they were just like, yo, if he's not trying to come out, we're gonna have to basically do a proper sweep to help bring on the labor. So in that point, I was just praying, literally praying that baby would just come out naturally. Luckily, God answered my prayers, and like the next morning, like early morning, basically I felt a bit guilty because my partner was in the hospital with me and he was just on some broke up chair next to me while I was in this ward bed. At least I had a nice bed and like pillows and stuff, and it was quite warm in there, so I didn't really care about the quality of the covers. But he was just like arch up on the chair next to me. So I was just like, babe, you might as well just go home because nothing's happening. I will call you when I think I'm in labor. He was just like, say nothing, I'll go home, come back, because he was fed up at that point. They literally don't care about your baby fathers, the dads, whatever. They do not give a heck. Like, they will come in, they will offer me breakfast. Oh, do you want tea, coffee, hot chocolate? Do you want toast, jam on toast? Do you want cereals? And he'll just be sitting there and they won't even say to him, like, would you like some water? Like, they don't give an F about the fathers, which is so sad. How do you expect men to want to be in the child's life if you're not even accepting them from the get-go? Like, you're not even welcoming them. You're just making them feel like a side piece just on the chair. So I was just like, babe, just go home. So he took the cab home. And then as soon, I kid you not, like half an hour after I told him to go home and he left, that's when my labor pain started coming. And it was just so strong. I just knew that the baby is coming out real soon, like literally real soon. And because I was like high risk, they put me in like a special ward with other mothers. And I just kept hearing mothers going into labor. Everyone was going into labor but me up until that point. And the way they were screaming and whining, I was just thinking, no, like, I don't want to be in this room with other mothers right now because they're screaming. It's just going to make me so nervous. Because like I said previously in my other birth story, I had a birthing center. So I was literally by myself in this one big room. This time, I'm in a room with like 6 other mothers and like, they're weak as fuck. They're screaming up the whole place over these labor pains. I was just thinking, I cannot do this right here. Like, I called my partner and I was like, you need to get to the hospital now. I tried to book the cab for him and Uber man was like, oh, where's the house? He can't find the house. Like, he was just moving so dumb at the wrong time. I'm thinking, yo, my partner needs to get here now. I don't have time for these games. So I'm there like I wasn't shouting at the Uber man, but I was just trying to like direct him as best as I could whilst I'm in labor. I'm there, caught up on the bed. I'm there doing my breathing techniques, because that's another thing I forgot to mention. If you are pregnant or like a new mom, make sure you download the app called Baby Center. No, this is not a paid ad. I'm just giving out free advice. But that app was literally a lifesaver. Like, you can literally go through your whole pregnancy journey day by day and it will tell you what's going to happen that day, like what the baby's going through on that day, that week, that month, things to look out for, things to practice. So literally, when I was in the hospital now, I was literally watching videos of how to do like breathing techniques because I didn't really practice none of that. And I kid you not, that was the thing that helped me through the whole labor. Like, I was sitting there doing these breathing techniques. It felt like I was just meditating. But anyway, I'm doing these breathing techniques. I was trying to like hold up the baby so my partner doesn't miss the birth because I just really wanted him to be there. But it was got to the point where the pains were just so strong, so strong. Like, I even had to call one of the nurses and then I literally wet myself because the baby was literally pushing down on my bladder. And I felt so bad. Like, the woman had to come and clean up the floor. I was so embarrassed. Like, everything was just going so tits up. I literally couldn't even walk from my bed to the bathroom. By the time I stepped out to go to the bathroom, I had already wet myself. Like, I was so embarrassed. It wasn't even my waters breaking or anything. It was just literally wetting myself. Like, when I told you before, like, when you're in labor, all shame, it goes out the window. Like, you don't give a heck. Like, whatever happens, you kind of just brush past it. They see that stuff all day, every day, so it's nothing new to them. But I just felt so bad. Like, I was even trying to help the woman clean up whilst I'm there in labor. She was just like, no, it's cool. Like, things happen type of thing. Bless her. The contractions were getting way more close together, and I was literally like, the baby's coming. And they were like, yet again, my room wasn't ready for where I needed to give birth. So they were trying to clean it up quickly, and I had to literally run from this ward I was in to where I was going to give birth, and I had to hold my belly and literally run across the corridor whilst he was pushing down. Like, it was like a movie, I tell you. Like, you see those 90s they give you, I was wearing that, and I was holding, like, everything skin out. I'm holding my belly and I'm running to the next room. Like, I don't know why people like me running whilst I'm in labor. It just doesn't make sense. Like, it's happened to me twice now where I've had to literally run because the baby's coming. So this is like early Monday morning now. I'm in the room ready to give birth. Luckily, they cleaned up the room in time for me. But what happened was, like I said to you, the nighttime staff and then morning staff like switch over. So the time I was in labor, they done a switch over. So the midwife that was coming to deliver my baby, she wasn't even aware that she was coming to deliver my baby. They literally just threw her on the spot and was like, yo, you better deliver this baby now. They didn't give her none of my doctor's notes, none of my birthing plan, like the midwife notes, nothing. She didn't know nothing about me. She didn't even know my name. So I got into this room now and she's shouting at me, like asking me dumb questions like, what is my name? What is my blood type? I was thinking, do I even know? Like, how am I supposed to know what my blood type is, please? Like, I do not know these things. I'm just here to give birth. I'm just here to show up and give birth. Like, and you're asking me these dumb questions. Go check the notes, Chale. Like, I was so fuming. I was just thinking, auntie, like, don't do this to me right now. I was trying to bite my tongue because the way she was shouting at me, and I was thinking, I'm a vulnerable woman right now, and you're literally putting me off of giving birth altogether. Like, I was so traumatized. I thought I was going to be greeted like nicely. Obviously, they've put her under pressure now, so she's kind of taking it out on me, which I understand, but it just wasn't the time. So anyway, my partner made it down as well. I forgot to mention. I get into the room now and literally my baby is just pushing, not stopping, like trying to come out. And it was so scary. The only good thing about this birth was that the midwife, you can tell she was up there, like she's not playing. Auntie was like, push, don't push, stop, wait, like she was literally like directing me through the whole birth. And I really thank God for that, because I was just like not with it. Like, and because I was, this time I basically done the same thing. I only had gas and air and for the labor pains, so I didn't have no other painkiller, like no fancy pool. Because I was already high risk, I wasn't allowed to go in the birth center again. I had to go into this ward where like the doctors are accessible and everything. So I was literally only on my gas and air. So I feel like this time I felt the pain 100 times worse than I did before, which was just so emotional and so hard. Like, the amount of strength you need to even give birth is just crazy. So anyway, I'm sucking up this gas and air again, like I'm high AF again. So she's telling me like, don't push, stop, da 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 da. And I was like, I am pushing. Like, I was just so exhausted, and like her giving me directions was just starting to piss me off. But then she was like, listen, if you don't listen to me now, you are going to tear. I'm trying to help you not to tear. So I was just like, that's when I snapped out of my highness. I was like, okay, breathe, focus. Like, now's the time you actually need to focus. This is not a joke thing. Because whilst I was on the bed, like, she also had the monitor still around me. She was like, your blood pressure's dropping, the baby's blood pressure's dropping. She was literally giving me a heart attack. That's not something you want to be hearing, like your baby's blood pressure is dropping. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm about to lose my baby. Like, it was so scary. That's when I snapped out of the highness. Like, I was not high anymore. I literally focused. I listened to everything she told me to do. Baby flew out now, and again I blacked out. Like, I was gone, I was dead to the world, don't know where I was. I just blacked out for a good 10 seconds this time. Like, I blacked out even longer, and like during the blackout stage, like, again, everything just went silent. I don't know why this happens to my body, but I literally just, I die. That's why they say childbirth is just so, it's just a lot. But let me not put you off. But anyway, so everything went silent. You see, when you're supposed to hear your baby crying, I didn't hear no crying. Because she was previously shouting at me like his blood pressure was dropping, then I'm not hearing crying. I literally froze. Like, and the way when I pushed him out, he literally felt like a dead rat, like just dead. He just felt like something limp just came out of me. I can't even explain it. But I just went silent. I was thinking, what the hell? Like, have I just lost my baby type of thing? Like, my partner wasn't saying nothing. The midwife wasn't saying nothing. So I was just shook. And then like a good 2 minutes later, and hearing him crying. So I just burst out crying. I was thinking, oh my days, like he's alive type of thing. Like, when I say pregnancy, labor, giving birth, all of that stuff is not a joke. It is not a joke. You need to take it seriously. I don't think I took it too seriously in that moment, because I was already overwhelmed. I was already tired, and I just wanted my bed. I just wanted the baby to come out, and she was shouting at me. I just had too much going on, so I just I wasn't here for it, basically. So yeah, baby flew out. He was alive, screaming. But the thing about him, he's like this till this day. Like, he would just sleep. Like, he came onto my chest and just slept. Like, he didn't want to move, nothing. That's what I'm telling you. Like, he wasn't ready to come out. I know my baby, like, if he had a choice, he would have still been in my belly up till now. Like, he was forced out of it, and I just felt so bad. Like, I just feel like they should have just let me deal with these symptoms, but obviously they can't because it's risky. Anything could happen to me or the baby. But thankfully, he made it here. So I just wanted to do this video just to show you the difference between different types of birth. Like, not everything goes to plan. You should be prepared for that. Just have in your mind that it might not go to plan. Don't get your hopes up. Just go with the flow. And the only good thing I would say about this birth is that I did not tear. Well, she said I did tear, but it's one of those ones where the body can just heal it naturally. Like, I didn't need to go through stitches or anything. So I was just thinking, thank God I actually listened to her when not to push and when to push. That's why I looked back and I was thinking, in my other birth story, they wasn't instructing me when to push or when not to push. I feel like if they did, then I probably wouldn't have had to have the stitches. Like, I would say this birth was way more painful though. Like, he weighed 2 pounds more than my daughter. So I feel like that had a big influence in the pain. Because he weighed so much, I feel like that's why it hurt so much. And obviously I had the condition that I had, preeclampsia. So yeah, but apart from that, I feel like it's very traumatic. And I don't know if I'm ready to have more kids because the pain, girl, like, I would if there wasn't pain involved, but the pain that my body's been through, I just can't physically see myself doing that again, but never say never. But anyways, if you did get this far into watching my video, thank you so much for supporting and showing the love. And again, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of that good stuff, and stay tuned for the next video. If you have any suggestions, don't forget to drop it in the comment box, and stay tuned for the next video. Mwah.